So I'm hoping you can hear me over the noise in the car, because I didn't bring my microphone to do a proper video because I didn't think I was going to do one. So hopefully this footage is usable. So I wanted to talk today about why I started my YouTube channel, some of the things that I've learned, some of the things that I've enjoyed, and some of the things I struggle with. And the main thing for me to reflect upon is that I started YouTube in November 22, I think. And the reason I started was because I spent a lot of time watching it during lockdown. And I wanted to know, basically out of curiosity, what it would take to create my own channel and to run it and to be sort of semi-successful. Basically out of curiosity. And then also kind of a secondary reason for starting my YouTube channel was because I always have struggled with public speaking, and it is a big part of my job. And although YouTube isn't really public speaking, what YouTube is a really good tool to provide you with all of the metrics that you wish you had while you were public speaking. So, basically it tells you how long people are engaged for, and whether they're enjoying what you're saying, because they will stick around to watch it if they are. So it's also just fun for me to talk to a camera. I don't know if I'm some sort of secret narcissist, but I quite enjoy that, sharing my thoughts. I don't have too many friends in real life that are gamers and that are mouse and keyboard gamers. So this gives me an outlet to talk to like-minded people with similar interests that I otherwise wouldn't have had. So that's really where this channel sort of came from. And the thing that kicked it off was the HSK Pro. So the HSK Pro was a mouse I was interested in, but I couldn't see any thorough reviews of it. So I bought one and I reviewed it. The review was received well, and then I basically continued doing reviews because I felt like I was onto something and I enjoyed it. So that's where my YouTube channel came from. I want to talk a little bit now about what I enjoy about YouTube. And for me, it was really difficult to start with because it takes so much effort to do a video, especially when you haven't done one before. I think my first video took me about 40 hours or something stupid to make. And I found it quite fun to basically learn all the skills associated with making YouTube videos. So that was part of the fun for me, was learning all of the editing, learning camera shots and stuff like that. Not that I do that particularly well, but those were all things that I enjoyed. And then, following on from that, there's a search engine optimization, which I'm still awful at, the sort of thumbnails, the script writing and all of that stuff, which again are just all parts of YouTube that, unless you do it for yourself, you wouldn't necessarily know that those were things that you had to learn and to become good at. So I quite liked developing those skills, and a lot of those things are transferable to the professional or corporate environment, which is actually where I work in my day job. So I was benefiting both with my YouTube channel and in my professional life, because I was practicing day to day at home what I needed to be practicing at work. So that was a benefit, and for my professional development was a net gain. I have seen some big improvements in my public speaking since I've started this YouTube channel, and I do put that down to my YouTube channel and the frequency at which I have to communicate to a camera, basically, instead of an audience. So those are the things that I've learned. I'm going to talk a little bit now about the things that I've struggled with, and it won't be a surprise to you if you've seen any of these videos before. Basically, the things I've struggled with are not unique to me. It's very common for this to be a YouTuber observation. I just don't have as much time as I would like. So I'm 32 years old. I know I'm ancient, whatever, but I've also, at this stage in my life, got a very busy job, which is very mentally draining. So it's not a physical job, but I do a lot of complex problem solving. I do a lot of strategic thinking in my role, and by the time I finish my job, I'm pretty exhausted. I do sort of, let's say it's 8 to 4 every day, Monday to Friday. By the time I get home, I'm absolutely ball bagged. And then when I get home, I've got my 2 young kids who I love, I absolutely love my kids, of course I do. So as soon as I get home, I go straight into parenting, and then I go from parenting after they've gone to bed at 7-ish o'clock to doing YouTube. So you can see how the time that is that I have in a day is pretty stretched in terms of my capacity to do things. And these the time that I have to do YouTube is typically the time that I would use to play video games. So if I'm not playing video games, I'm doing YouTube instead, then that's encroaching on my chill out time. And basically the thing I've observed of YouTube over the time that I've done it is that I have basically no chill time these days, because I'm just constantly thinking about YouTube. And it's been pretty exhausting. You know, my work has gotten a bit busier recently, and life has gotten just a little bit manic in terms of socials and all of that stuff outside of YouTube and the online presence. So I've basically taken a bit of a step back from YouTube, and I was finding myself up until this point chasing statistics. As much as I enjoyed the YouTube, doing the YouTube, creating the content, I was doing it, I think, because I was giving myself goals in terms of statistics, which I think is a healthy practice for someone who's working in that sort of area. It's useful to have goals and things to aim for, but I'm not entirely sure the way that I was doing it was helpful in the context of my life at this point in time. So I was just putting unnecessary pressure on myself to push out lots of content when I didn't have enough time to do it. And the outcome of that was that I wasn't happy with the content I was pushing out. The quality of it, if I'm honest, was a bit shit, and I didn't feel good about what I was producing. I was under crunch because I didn't have enough time to do it, so on and so forth. You get the picture. So I've taken a bit of a step back from that statistical view of it now, and I'm focusing instead purely on how much I'm interested in what I'm doing. So I'm not going to try anymore to keep up with trends, because I don't have the time to do it. What I'm going to do instead is focus on covering what I find enjoyable to cover or interesting to cover, and that is the weird stuff, the unique things, the cool designs, you know, the stuff that's a little bit different. And I want to also do a few sort of video essay style videos, you know, like Viscose does sometimes. I quite like the idea of growing the channel into that space, because there's a few things I feel like I have value in sharing there, and I hope that they're received well. And really what I'm seeking to do with those videos is just have a little bit more of an impact with the effort that I put in. Hopefully I can help some of you with some real life challenges that are also gaming related. So that's my goal for the channel going forward, is to maintain it as a hobby. I don't want it to turn into a job. I don't want it to turn into this big thing that I can't maintain, and then I all of a sudden walk away, which I almost did recently. And you know, I'm just going to cover what I want to cover. I'm not going to allow myself, I hope, to fall to the pressure of keeping up with the latest and the greatest. And I'll talk about more on that in the future in some of my future videos. But I hope that you have enjoyed the content that I've produced. I really hope that you continue to enjoy it going forward. You know, the main thing for me with this channel is I get to communicate with you as a community, which for me is the best thing about this, is talking to people that I genuinely really enjoy engaging with. And then also, you know, I've actually made some really good friends in this community, people that I talk to day to day that I would never have met if it wasn't for the fact that I'd started a YouTube channel. So I want to keep that going. I don't want to stop doing that. I hope you're along for the ride. If you're not, that's fine. And I'll catch you in a future video.